So that takes care of what is faith and what is love, our initial exploration of that. Hopefully there's some interesting nuggets in there for you to chew on. So now on to what is OCIA or what is RCIA? What is that program? Well, the simplest way to explain OCIA is it prepares someone to become Catholic. But that's not quite the right way to explain it. And I'll explain why in a moment. First of all, OCIA is the same thing as RCIA. If you're familiar with the earlier acronym RCIA, which has been around for like 50 plus years, they've renamed it, but it's the same content, it's the same purpose, which I'm going to explain here in a sec. So it's the same thing. I just have a hard time flipping between the two. The program is made up of a series of talks like the one I just gave, which go for about 45 to 50 minutes. And we meet each Tuesday at 7 p.m. From mid to late September through Easter to go over the foundations of the Catholic faith. There is a process in place for people who can't make it on any particular Tuesday, or they travel a lot and they can't make it for a lot of Tuesdays. Or even if they want to join the program after we get started. And I'll get to that in a moment. The program is open to anyone 18 and older because it is for adults. That's what the A stands for in OCIA. And there's no cost and no commitment. If, explore the faith. If you like it, keep coming. And because of the length of the program from like mid-September through Easter, we only do it once a year. So it's one program per year. So congratulations on being here for the first night. So I said it's not quite right to say that OCIA, quote, prepares someone to be Catholic, and this is why. Each person comes into OCIA in one of four situations. First, if you are not yet baptized, then the program's going to prepare you to receive 3 sacraments from the church: baptism, First Communion, and confirmation. Everybody knows baptism. The second 2 we'll cover as we go through. Okay, if you're not familiar with those 2, we'll cover through. But you'll be prepared to receive all 3 sacraments, and you'll receive all 3 sacraments on the same night, which is the Easter Vigil, the night before Easter, and you receive them directly from the bishop, which is really cool. You don't always get that, but we're here at the Cathedral, so you get it directly from the bishop. Second, if you are a baptized Christian, not Catholic, but you're exploring coming into the Catholic faith, then you're already baptized. Well, you don't need to prepare for baptism. You're going to prepare for First Communion and for confirmation. The Catholic Church very, very likely recognizes the baptism that you were given in your previous church. Every once in a while, there is a church that doesn't do it right, and therefore we will baptize you at the Easter Vigil so that you have a proper baptism. But it's a very rare situation, okay? But it does happen from time to time. Third, if you are a baptized Catholic sitting in the room, but you've never received First Communion. In other words, when you were growing up, you never started religious ed classes, you never started learning about the faith, you never received First Communion. Well, then that's what you're doing here. You're getting ready to receive First Communion and confirmation. And then the last case is if you're a baptized Catholic and you did start going through religious education and you received First Communion, but you haven't received confirmation, in which case you're only here for confirmation, which is great. We can still explore the faith together. By the way, in some cases, we are able to expedite people that are only seeking confirmation. If they've received a good, proper education earlier on, and all they need to do is sort of touch it up to go to confirmation, we can expedite that. If that's your situation, contact me. In all 4 cases, you'll be receiving your 1, 2, or 3 sacraments at the Easter Vigil on the same night, and you'll be receiving it directly from the bishop as he welcomes you into the church. At that point, once you've received all your sacraments, you will be what's called in full communion with the Catholic Church. And that's why I say it wasn't quite right to say, prepare somebody to be Catholic. The proper way to say it is OCIA prepares people to enter into full communion with the Catholic Church. But that's a mouthful, and you wouldn't have understood it if I said it at the beginning. So I explain it, okay? So you'll be entering into full communion with the Church. And for different people here, it'll mean slightly different things. But we'll all be in full communion with the church at the Easter Vigil. Now, each week, all 4 groups we meet together as one big happy family and go through the same talks. We start from scratch, so I don't leave anybody behind. I don't assume you know a whole bunch about your faith. So But I also recognize that some of you know your faith very well. So I try and make the talks engaging enough so that I don't like bore anybody, and we just sort of move along. Because hopefully, even if you know your faith, there was something in the earlier talk that was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm glad I know that. Okay. All of the talks, by the way, are recorded and they're online, and they're put online. I'll get home tonight. I'll put it right online, and you'll get a link. I'll send you all an email probably tomorrow morning, and you'll get a link to this talk in case you want to review it, or if you want to go over all these little details that I've just been describing for the last couple of minutes. You'll be able to do that once you get that link, and it helps if you happen to have to miss a session, if you're traveling, if you're sick for a week or something like that. That's why I record it and put it online. So you get to rewatch, review, or anything else like that. Now, because the talks are recorded and online, it allows somebody to catch up with the class if they only find out about RCIA a couple of weeks from now. They can, if they're willing to binge watch some of the talks, they can catch up with y'all. So late registration is possible, okay? But it's gonna require some effort in binge watching, the 2 or 3 or 5 classes that you've missed, so you can sort of hop on board. Also, because they're recorded and online, it allows somebody in certain cases to attend remotely, in cases where you live in another city, or you have to travel a lot or something like that. Again, contact me for details. There aren't any tests or quizzes, just to let you know. There aren't any tests or quizzes. You're not responsible to me. You're here to get closer to God. So that's between you guys, okay? Absorb what you can. And if you've got questions, ask me, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get closer to our faith. And it wasn't so long ago that I didn't have faith, and I was on the same journey, so I know what it feels like. So ask questions. I give most of the talks, but not quite all of them. This year we'll have 3 guest speakers, actually. We'll have Father Gavin come in and do 2 of the talks. We'll have Father Brian King come in and do 2 of the talks. And we'll also have the bishop here in January to address us, which is kind of cool. So we do have a few guest speakers throughout the year, but you'll have me most of the time. I love answering questions. But if possible, save them till the end, because I've sort of got a flow, and if you confuse me, I gotta back up and start again. So if you can, save them to the end, and I'll be more than happy to either address them as a group or individually as we wrap up. If I don't know the answer, I'll be honest with you, I don't know the answer. I'll go research it and let you know what the answer is the next week. Throughout the program, we're going to be looking for to try and understand the Catholic concepts, the Catholic understanding of some certain important topics, what their biblical foundation is, what the history is, what the logic is behind it, and we got to sort of go through it. It's a progressive teaching of the subject. So we'll go through this. We'll also address some common misconceptions about the faith, like we did earlier tonight. If you didn't get an updated schedule of the topics, they're on the back. They're on the back table because I had to rearrange some of the talks. So the stuff that you got by email, they're updated on the table back there. Most of this program takes place on these Tuesday nights. This is the bulk of what OCIA/RCIA is all about, these sessions. We will, however, meet 2 or 3 times on a weekend for certain special events. We'll talk about them as they come up. If you have a Catholic friend or relative or spouse that you think might be interested in walking this journey with you, invite them. They are perfectly welcome to be here, provided they behave, But they're perfectly welcome to be here. It'd be wonderful to have somebody that knows the faith sort of. They don't have to know the faith perfectly, but if they want to walk with you, by all means, invite them. Guest speakers, invite somebody to join you. I stopped clicking, I forgot. And I saved the best for last. We also have an RCIA team here. It turns out that we actually quite a few of them are either ill or just had surgery today. So I'll introduce the team to you next week, but we have an RCIA team here that helps to sort of coordinate everything so that we can have a good time on each Tuesday. If there's anything else you want to know about the program or anything, just ask, okay? Either in person now or by email or what have you. Thanks for being here tonight. I hope you enjoy the journey. God bless you. God bless our country, and God bless the church all throughout the world.